Across the United States, some cities are on the verge of vanishing. Once filled with busy streets, thriving businesses, and strong communities, they are now places where the population is shrinking, buildings stand abandoned, and the local economy is barely holding on. These cities are facing pressures so severe that 2025 could be the year they collapse completely. The causes are not the same for all. In some places, factories and major employers have shut down, leaving thousands without work. In others, environmental disasters such as hurricanes, wildfires, and flooding have destroyed homes and driven residents away. Some are battling a mix of high crime rates, deep poverty, and failing public services that make it hard for anyone to see a future there. Signs of decline are visible everywhere. Roads go unrepaired for years. Schools close because there are not enough children to attend them. Hospitals downsize or shut their doors because they cannot stay financially afloat. Shops and restaurants close, leaving long stretches of empty storefronts. Residents who remain are often older, with younger generations moving away to find better opportunities. For many of these cities, the decline has been slow and steady, but in recent years, the pace has accelerated. Population loss has reached critical levels, tax revenues have dried up, and basic services are breaking down. Some crime and drug abuse have become even harder to control, further pushing away the people who might have stayed. If current trends continue, these cities could reach a point in 2025 where recovery is no longer realistic. And what makes this even more alarming is that some of these locations were once seen as strong, stable places to live. Their struggles reveal how quickly circumstances can change when economic, environmental, and social challenges converge. The list you are about to hear includes cities from different parts of the country, from former industrial hubs to tourist destinations and small urban centers. Some may be familiar to you, while others might come as a complete surprise. Each one is facing conditions that make survival past this year uncertain. We will count down from number 10 to number 1, looking at the factors pushing each of these cities toward collapse and what life looks like for those still living there. When we reach the top of the list, you may be shocked at how close a once thriving community is to disappearing entirely. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel, tap the like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss important updates on places and events shaping our world. Your support helps us continue bringing you clear, fact-based information that matters. Now let's begin the countdown of the 10 American cities that could disappear in 2025. Kicking off with number 10 is Gary, Indiana, the city of Indiana. Once a powerhouse of steel production, Gary was home to tens of thousands of factory workers who built the city's reputation as an industrial giant. But when steel manufacturing declined in the late 20th century, the jobs disappeared almost overnight. Since then, Gary's population has fallen by more than half, and abandoned buildings are now a common sight. High crime rates, crumbling infrastructure, and limited job opportunities have driven even more people away. By 2025, without new investment or a strong recovery plan, Gary risks losing the few remaining parts of its economy that are still standing. Sliding into number 9 is Flint, the city of Michigan. Known for its role in the American auto industry, Flint has faced decades of economic struggle, but what pushed it further into crisis was the infamous water contamination disaster in 2014, which destroyed public trust and caused long-term health and economic consequences. Population decline has been steady, and property values remain among the lowest in the state. Schools have shut down, and many businesses never returned. If migration out of the city continues at the same pace, Flint could face an even deeper collapse in 2025. Coming down to number 8 is Centralia, the borough of Pennsylvania. This once thriving coal mining town is now nearly empty due to an underground mine fire that has been burning since 1962. The ground is unstable, toxic gases seep into the air, and only a handful of residents remain. Over the decades, homes have been demolished and streets left to crumble. In 2025, Centralia exists mostly as a cautionary example of how environmental disasters can erase a city from the map entirely. Taking the 7th spot is Paradise, the town of California. Devastated by the Camp Fire in 2018, which became the deadliest and most destructive wildfire in California's history, Paradise lost nearly its entire housing stock. Thousands fled and never returned, leaving the town struggling to rebuild. While some new homes have been constructed, wildfire threats remain high, and insurance costs have skyrocketed. Many fear that another disaster could end any hope of full recovery, making 2025 a critical year for its survival. At number 6, we have East Street, Louis, Illinois, the city of Illinois. This city has been battling severe economic hardship for decades. Once an industrial hub, it has faced extreme depopulation, high unemployment, and some of the highest violent crime rates in the country. Entire neighborhoods are filled with vacant homes, and the tax base is so low that essential services like police and fire departments are constantly underfunded. Without major intervention, East Street Louis could soon be unable to function as a city at all. Moving into the 5th position is Venice, Louisiana. Situated at the very tip of the Mississippi River Delta, Venice is often called the end of the world because it's one of the last inhabited areas before the Gulf of Mexico. But rising sea levels, frequent hurricanes, and coastal erosion are swallowing the land at an alarming rate. Fishing and tourism remain the main industries, but if storms intensify, Venice could face total evacuation in the near future. Coming in at number 4 is Pritchard, the city of Alabama. Once a growing city in the mid-20th century, Pritchard has been in long-term decline due to industrial collapse and population loss. The city has filed for bankruptcy twice, and its water system has faced severe management and financial issues. With limited public services and a shrinking economy, 2025 could see Pritchard nearing the point where recovery becomes almost impossible. Taking the 3rd spot is Mayfield, the city of Kentucky. In December 2021, a powerful tornado tore through the city, destroying homes, businesses, and public buildings. While rebuilding efforts are ongoing, many residents chose not to return, leading to a noticeable drop in population. Businesses that once kept the local economy alive have either closed or relocated. Without strong economic incentives to bring people back, Mayfield could face lasting decline. At number 2 is Valmeyer, Illinois, the village of Illinois. This small town was devastated by the Great Flood of 1993, forcing most residents to relocate to higher ground. While a new Valmeyer exists, the original town site remains abandoned, and the population has never returned to pre-flood levels. Continued flooding threats and a lack of growth opportunities mean Valmeyer is still vulnerable to permanent disappearance. Finally, the number 1 city most at risk of disappearing in 2025 is Newtok, the village of Alaska. Located on the edge of the Ninglick River, Newtok is being swallowed by erosion caused by melting permafrost and rising sea levels. The ground beneath the village is literally sinking, and homes are collapsing into the water. The community has been trying to relocate for years, but the process is slow and costly. Experts warn that within the next year, parts of Newtok could be completely uninhabitable, forcing a full evacuation. Looking back at this list, it is clear that the challenges facing these cities are not random. Whether it is an economic collapse that has hollowed out entire neighborhoods, an environmental disaster that has left homes unlivable, or a slow decline caused by population loss and aging infrastructure, each place shows how fragile a community can be when the right pressures hit all at once. For those still living in these places, the reality is not just about abandoned houses or empty storefronts. It is about daily life becoming harder, longer drives to find open grocery stores, fewer doctors available when someone gets sick, slower emergency responses, and less funding for schools and community programs. In some cases, it also means living with the uncertainty that their hometown might not be here in the near future. Environmental factors add another layer of urgency. Rising sea levels are forcing coastal towns to retreat inland. Stronger hurricanes, floods, and wildfires are wiping out years of progress in just hours. For communities like Newtok, Alaska, or Venice, Louisiana, the question is no longer if they will be forced to move, but when. And in many cases, the cost of relocation is far beyond what local residents can afford without outside help. The situation is a warning that what is happening in these cities could happen elsewhere. Urban areas that seem stable today might face similar challenges tomorrow if industries change, if climate events intensify, Wi-Fi or if infrastructure is neglected for too long. This is why paying attention to these warning signs matters not just for the people who live there, but for anyone who cares about the long-term future of their own community. While some of these cities may not recover, others could still turn things around. It would take investment, planning, and sometimes completely rethinking what the local economy and environment can support. It might also mean making tough choices, such as consolidating services with nearby towns or shifting the focus of the community's purpose entirely. If this countdown has given you a clearer view of what is at stake, now is the time to stay informed and engaged. Cities rise and fall throughout history, but the speed and scale at which these changes are happening today make it more important than ever to understand the causes and possible solutions. Before we close, make sure you subscribe to the channel, tap the like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss important updates like this. Share this video with others so they can see what challenges American cities are facing in 2025. Your support helps bring awareness to issues that often go unnoticed until it is too late. And together, awareness is the first step toward change.